What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Full Throttle Drive. Thank you so much for joining me on today's video. So I'm really excited because we are going to talk about the new leaked information for the options on the upcoming C8 mid-engine Corvette. Now, we know a little bit about the individual that leaked it, and we're going to get into that. So I'm really excited to share all of the option information. So let's just go ahead and jump into today's video. Now, first things first, what do we know about the individual that actually leaked this information? And he goes by the username of NBVet4U, and he announced that he actually did this configuration of his C8 Corvette already, and then he leaked what were some photos of the options computer screen, which is really cool, and it gives us an in-depth dive of what we're going to see on the new upcoming mid-engine Corvette. So it's really cool, but this individual who we believe GM probably already knows who they are is probably in a lot of trouble. This is information that was designed to only be internal for now until the car actually debuts. So this is pretty big stuff, but again, I'm really excited to share it with you guys. Now, one really interesting thing to note is that all of this option information, everything that we've seen that is leaked, never technically says that it's a mid-engine car. So whoever's leaked this, either GM has done a good job at making sure that if something like this was leaked, nobody actually has that confirmation yet. But we already know, we've already seen all the test mules. We know the next C8 Corvette is going to be a mid-engine vehicle. And even though GM wants to hold this big surprise, and everybody is pretty much already aware of this, but it's really interesting that we don't have the definitive yes answer quite yet, even with all of this leaked information. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the transmission, and from what we can see from the option list is that yes, what we believe to be true is that the only option is a 8-speed dual clutch transmission. So it is going to involve a new dual clutch that GM's been working on for the new Corvette. However, it does not look like the debuting C8 Corvette will have the option for a manual, which again is a huge bummer. I was really hoping that when I get to order mine, I would get a manual. I really missed the manual that I had in my C6. It was great, and I know a manual in the C8 would be incredible, and I wish my R8 actually had a manual. I really wish it had a gated shifter that was really hard to find, but nevertheless, it looks like we're going to have to go the dual clutch route for the new C8 Corvette, at least the start. Now, I talked to you guys in a previous video about the patents that were actually filed for an upcoming possibly clutch-by-wire system for a manual clutch in the C8 Corvette. Again, we don't know too much about it, but we know that GM has filed that patent and hopefully will implement it on their upcoming mid-engine Corvette. One last thing I do want to note about the upcoming dual clutch transmission is that it does look like it's going to be that Tremec sourced gearbox, and that is actually what is found in the Ford GT and the upcoming Shelby GT500. So it looks like it's going to be a really well-built dual clutch transmission. We then can move on to the suspension, and it looks a lot like the ordering form for a C7. We get three different options as far as the suspension: FE1, FE3, and FE4. And the first one being just four-wheel independent suspension. Then there is the Z51 Performance, and then the third being a Z51 Magnetic Selective Ride Control System. And that is actually what a lot of people praised in the C7, and honestly, if I order one, that's probably going to be an option that I'm looking for. Now, I do want to eventually track the car. That's something I want to do, so I'll want that, but I've heard that Magnetic Selective Ride Control System is fantastic, and again, that's just something that I want to add to my C8 Corvette. We then can move on to the braking system, and there's just a four-wheel anti-lock braking system, and then of course the Z51, which comes with that package, and that's just a brake package, but it doesn't give us much more in-depth information than that. You can also make some caliper colors. There's black, yellow, red, and it looks like a few other colors on top of that. Now, as far as interior goes, that's where we already have seen a little bit of the leaked photos from the interior, but now we know that there's some interior trim accents, and of course, there's quite a few different interior trims to actually pick from. You've got these jet black, natural, there's even red, it looks like there's a sky cool gray, and then just adrenaline red over jet black. Just tons of choices to pick from. One of the other things I wanted to add to this video is talking about the paint colors. And there's actually 3 new paint colors that I'm seeing. I'm going to go down this list. Of course, we've seen Long Beach Red Metallic, we've seen Sebring Orange, and we've seen Arctic White. There's several other ones like Black, Blade Silver Metallic, but there's a couple that are brand new. We actually are seeing Zeus Bronze, Rapid Blue, and Accelerate Yellow Metallic. Those are 3 brand new color options. It looks like we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 different color options coming up for the new C8 Corvette, and I can't wait to see them in person. Of course, we haven't seen these new colors before, but a lot of the other colors you can imagine from the C7 going over to the C8, it's going to look fantastic, but this gives us an idea of what we'll have for ordering options on the upcoming C8. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the engine. Now, this has been a big thing that we've been waiting to actually get an indication from, and we've heard of possibly them using what Cadillac has developed, a 4.2 liter twin turbo V8, but it looks like we are going to possibly get the LT2, and that is a revision of the LT1. It's got a little bit more to it. It is a 6.2 liter V8, and it's probably going to be right around the 500 horsepower club. We know a little bit more about it. It's got variable valve timing and active fuel management, and of course it's direct injection. So again, it's going to make about that 500 horsepower, and it's probably going to be a sufficient base Corvette engine. And again, the car really doesn't need to be that much faster than the base C7. It was already a quick car, and with lots of mods it can go really, really quick. But again, we're going to that mid-engine layout is what we're really looking for. Now, the very last thing that I want to comment on is talking about all of the specific options, and I'm just going to break them down here that we can see and make out that are new for the C8 Corvette. These are specific, and we see full video display mirrors, rear park assist, side blind spot alert, and cross traffic alert. So there's going to be tons of new tech on here, as well as a rumored adjustable front lift system and a 12-inch configurable color gauge cluster. They also talk about 14 Bose audio speakers that we may see. So all of this is potential, and we could see the return of the MPP performance exhaust, as well as the data recorder and the PTM, which is the performance traction management system. So all of these look to be options coming up on the C8 Corvette. I just wanted to add those into you if you didn't already have that knowledge. We also got a little bit of information about the tires, and it says that the front tire size is a 245/35 ZR10. Now, obviously, we highly doubt that the new C8 is going to have a 10-inch front wheel, so we believe that to be some sort of typo, and we don't know really why that is the case, but it's at least giving us an idea that it's a 245/35. It's just obviously not going to have 10-inch front tires, but really interesting nonetheless, and that looks like that is the only front tire size that it's going to be coming with. So guys, as I said, I wanted to get straight to the point and share this awesome option list with you, and it's really exciting to see because this gives you an idea of what you're looking at as you go forward. And when I go to spec out my car, you can kind of look at this list and this option list and kind of get an idea of what you want to do. And whether you're speccing one out for fun or you're really looking at purchasing a C8 going forward, this gives you an idea of what we're seeing. And we believed we're seeing all of this leaked information. As we get closer and closer to the release date, that makes a lot of sense, and we think that they're going to release it sometime this summer and start production in December. I talked about that a little bit in a previous video, but it looks like we're getting closer and closer to that point. But really, really cool. There's some other small tidbits in that you can see in the pictures that I provided in my video, and you can pause the video, check those out. But I really, really enjoyed talking with you guys, and I want to hear what you guys think of this option list. What are your thoughts on the option list going forward? And if any of you guys ordered a C7, I'm sure you will see the similarities of the ordering kind of build out as you saw for this C8 Corvette. Now, one thing I do want to mention is there is always a subject to change. They could be adding, removing. We could be getting some specs that we have not seen on these photos. There could be new ones coming that GM's really trying to hold to themselves. Again, like I said, we never actually saw anywhere on those option lists where it said mid-engine Corvette, but we know that's going to be the case. And going forward, there's obviously going to be more options on the later variants of the C8 Corvette. But again, let me know what you guys think. If you found today's video helpful, please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. We would absolutely love to have you on the community. Also, be looking for more content on my Audi R8. We're finally getting to spring and summer, and we have some really cool projects set up for the Audi R8. We finished the wrap. We have a little bit to do with the wheels. We still got to get around to the exhaust, but I cannot wait. We have, again, lots of fun projects. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with all of our latest videos coming out. Thank you guys again. You all take care. We'll see you next video.